Hello everyone and welcome back to more Seduce Me to the Demon War. Wow, we are back at this dramatic moment where we last left off in the last episode. Let's see if I could do a quick recap and recall exactly what happened. In the last episode, so we had started off that episode starting the night where we tried to go to sleep after like experiencing our first angel attack. So night following afterwards, James had put on a kind of like a mind barrier, kind of mind protecting spell on us in hopes of perhaps keeping the angels away that night. So we picked up after going to sleep that night and also seeing whether or not James's spell worked. So what ended up happening is that we entered our dream and we find ourselves in the cell that we had found ourselves in the nightmare we had with James, except instead of James being all psychotic on us, we actually are able to leave the cell, kind of go out and find this the things that happen, like things that are different from when our nightmare had happened the first time we were in the same kind of like area. So Hana, we heard a voice down the corridor, and it turns out it's James, and he's suffering at the hands of the angels, and we were freaking out over that, and we just bust up in there trying to protect him or trying to do something. But then James is just like, no, I'm gonna handle this, you stay away from her, to the angel. But except we didn't see the angel in the room, like we couldn't see him. But then we saw James, he's just like strapped to the wall, handcuffs and shit, whatever, and he's like getting this cross just burned into his chest, and it just looks painful. So we wake up after that, and it was in the middle of the night, except we look over and James is just fine. And then in the following morning, we told James about the dream that we had, because he asked us, if we had a better sleep, but we wanted to be truthful, and we were like, no, I didn't, because, I had a bad dream that you were being hurt by the angels and shit. And then he finally explained to us that the spell that he cast on us, the mind protecting spell, was part of that, like the whole thing where he kind of places the image of himself acting as like a protector, in which in case the angels come, and which they did, it would attack him instead of harassing us. So that's what ended up happening. That's what the spell was, and we were upset about that, except at the same time we're just like, oh well, thank you, at least it kind of worked, and we know that now he's not in like any sort of danger because of us. So yeah, that was that. And then what ended up happening, I forgot. I think Diana came in on us, and I didn't know, that wasn't right. I'm trying to remember. I think we went off to train that day, and then we learned how to fly with Faye, and that was really cool. And then we zipped around the castle. We found Diana, or we kind of peeked in on Diana being all mad and pissy, and we see her other more demonic, crazier kind of, no, not crazier, but she's temperamental half, where we already know from AXA how she has this doppelganger that is really ruthless and stuff, when Diana in truth, when real Diana is more calming and more helpful and caring. Caring. I don't even know why I'm stumbling over my words. Anyways, that's what ended up happening. And then afterwards, what happened? Faye was really freaked out about that after witnessing, Diana kind of lose her temper a bit. We moved away from that. We continued to train, and then that night we went back into our room, except we found Sarah there first instead of James. And Sarah finally explained to us, or asked us, about the Stone Destiny, which we got a little bit of an info on in the beginning of James' route, but we don't know exactly what it was or who said it. But anyway, Sarah revealed the fact that James is indeed, trapped in this Stone Destiny, in which his fate has been sealed, and the angels are after us because we are in the way of him fulfilling his fate or his destiny because of the stone, whatever the fuck it is. So we were like, oh my god, this is not real, this is not happening. And we asked Sarah how the hell he knows this, and it turns out he may be a half angel or a full angel or some shit. But anyways, he has some holiness up in him, and that's how he was able to find out how or why the James is in the Stone Destiny thing, whatever. But he gave us a little hint on saying, that we can help James, break the hold of the Stone Destiny that it has on him, because either way, I think he kind of alluded to the fact that if James were to fulfill his destiny or to go through with it, then it would not end well for either us or for Diana. So he's just like, hint hint, nudge nudge, wink wink, you can give him some energy in order for him to like be able to break out of that hold. And we're like, oh, so I gotta sleep with him. So yeah, that's what ended up happening. James came in after Sero left us and was like, don't say anything to anyone about this whole conversation, not even to Diana, because she don't know either. So yeah, afterwards James came in for the night and we were like really stressed, and then we decided to just jump his bone and have a little bit of a kinky sexy moment with him, even though Hana expressed the fact that I don't want to have sex with him just because to have sex with him, because she wants it to be like in the moment and in the mood kind of thing. But we really don't have any choice here, and also the fact is that it's a lot to take in, and I feel like she needs to relieve herself in some sort of way. So that was a kind of a good outlet. So that ended up happening. We had our steamy moment with James, and then the following morning James is already off to train because the war and the final battle was getting closer and closer. And then afterwards Diana came in, gave us breakfast, kind of asked us, touched base on us about the whole Angel situation, asking if we really did have a solution, and we were like, honestly, we don't know. But she's just like, well, whatever, like if you seem to have it figured out, then just like if anything happens, then just tell me, kind of thing. So yeah, that's why she left. She left us. We went to go meet up with Faye again to train. Except Faye had a little picnic kind of day in mind, so we went out of the castle. We flew off to this beautiful cliffside, and we had picnic with Faye. And Faye expressed their concern about Diana changing after the first time they met Diana, because Diana is becoming a little bit more like the demon lord almost, because she's so obsessed with killing him, and she's kind of going mad in a way, but not really, because she's still aware of it herself, and also other stuff like the stew and what's actually in it, and it turns out to be pig fun and that shit. So yeah, we had a picnic and a heart-to-heart moment with Faye, and then afterwards we come back to this where we are very sus about our room because something seems a little bit off about it, and we don't know what. We kind of peer into the room where we are right now, and we're like, well, what's going on? I don't see anything out of place, or like something is clearly here. So it's either we investigate the room or we leave it and get the fuck out of there before we get our ass jumped. So we left off here in this cliffhanger choice, and I don't know. I really don't know what to do, guys, because it's like a flight or a flight or fight kind of moment where it's like I don't even know, and since it's in a story, it's like come on, you want to know what's gonna happen, what's in the room or anything like that. But at the same time, if it was in real life, you'd be out of there the moment shit goes down. Like you out of here. You ain't about to deal with this supernatural shit. So yeah, I don't know. I'm 50-50. Like straight down the middle, 50-50 choice right here. So, the part of me really wants to know what's up with our room, but at the same time, it's like I know I'm gonna get my ass killed. This is like the stupid horror movie mistake right here, where it's like you hear strange noise, let's go investigate it instead of calling 911. Oh man. Okay, for the sake of the story, because it's just it's fictional, whatever. It's not like it's not like I can die from this, or maybe I can, but like whatever. That's what the save point is all about, and I can just reload this infinite amounts of lives. Okay, let's be ballsy and let's just jump right in there and just hope for the best, and yeah, okay, let's hope our training pays off. I shook my fear from my mind and took a breath. This was not something to be scared about. I was sure of it. Are you sure? Oh god. I walked further into the room only to hear the door slam shut. Oh shit. Door slamming shut all by itself. That's just not cool. I turned around, seeing the door closed, making me panic a bit. Oh fuck. Hey! Before I could walk over, however, I felt the energy in the room freeze. Oh shit. What? I'm gonna die here, aren't I? I made the stupid mistake of just not leaving. I looked around now, unsure of what to think. Whatever was here had succeeded in trapping me, so I needed to deal with whatever it was. Baring my teeth and stepping further into the room, I scanned the room for any movement. Better not be angels, I swear to fucking God. Who's there? What do you want?
You do not belong here, human.
Oh God, it's a fucking angel. Fucking Christ. And you're speaking in English to me at least. Okay, alright, whatever. Oh God, we can do this really civilly and no one has to die here, okay? I understand that I'm not supposed to be here, but it's not exactly my choice, you know? The voice I replied sent fear rushing through my body. I looked around to try and pin down the direction of the voice, but it seemed to just echo around the room. Figures, because we couldn't see the angels last time in our dream, even when James was getting harassed by them. Who are you? What do you want? Hana, don't fucking be stupid now.
You meddle in things beyond your comprehension. Why must you attempt to toy with destiny?
Hey, bro, it's not. Hey, I didn't mean it, okay? I was just, dropped my. Demon Lord, go talk to him. He just dropped my ass here without my consent, and I was gonna get happily married to, Bae, and this happened. This is not planned. So this is out of my control. I remained silent for a moment. This was an angel speaking in English to me, for once. I didn't know why it was speaking to me now after they had attempted to wipe my memories and haunt me. Still, at least I would be able to learn more as to why. Yeah, how am I in the way of the Stone Destiny shit? I glared into the room and continued to look around. I'm not toying with anything. James chose to stay with me, and he and I are going to be married.
Raestro's fate has been set. You have no place in it.
Now, who says so? Oh shit, before I could react, I felt myself become enveloped in chains. I looked down to see my entire body wrapped in lines of white and gold chains squeezing me tightly, and I winced in pain. Hey, this is not fair! Oh shit, maybe I should have just been smart and just kind of left the room and be like, fuck it, bye.
Your mind is protected, but the spell will not last. Once it is faded, you will be properly baptized.
But I don't want to be baptized. What makes you think I want to become a Christian? Okay, no.
Love, what is going on in there?
James and Angel is trying to baptize me up in here, and I don't like it. Come in, bust this door down, and rescue me. I stared at the door, hearing James bang against it from the other side. The door was locked from the outside too. I glared at the door before shutting my eyes and calling out his true name. Okay, here we go. Maestro! Yeah, there we go. Nice. With a flash of bright light, James appeared inside the room, shocked but suddenly enraged at seeing me in chains. Before he could rush forward to help me, however, his body was wrapped in chains as well. Oh shit. Well then. No!
What is this?
Hey, you tell me. I don't know. I don't know either.
You cannot defy your destiny, demon.
Ah, man. Who died and made you God?
My destiny?
I pulled against the chains around me, hoping to somehow break free. Despite it being to no avail, I continued to thrash and pull.
Your destiny is to rule this world. You cannot escape it.
Okay, but who decided this?
My destiny is of my own making!
Yeah, what he said. Seriously.
Your destiny is set in stone.
Not quite, because if Sarah was telling the truth, then I could totally just diverge from it, So you shut up. Oh, the room around us began to glow and blind us, and we were forced to shut our eyes tightly. God, can you turn down the brightness, please? I don't need this extra bullshit. All right.
No matter. We will cleanse you both soon enough.
Fuck, is this one of the endings? Did I fuck up? Shit. I could feel the chains drag me beneath the ground into some sort of space. Cold waves rushed against my skin as I was being as I was dragged through a void I could not see. Where were we being taken? Not a very happy place, I assume. I didn't know how long I was out for. I had no way to tell how long I had been unconscious. All I knew was that James and I were in trouble. What was going to happen now that we were prisoners of the angels? Nervousness sank into my mind as I could not do anything but float in the empty darkness created by the angels who had confined me in a cocoon of chains. Okay, first you turn up the brightness, then you turn down to the dark. Now you turn off the lights completely. I don't understand why you can't just keep things just in the middle. Slowly, my nerves came back to life and I found myself awakening from the dark. What I didn't expect was to no longer feel chains around me, but soft familiar silk beneath me. What? What the? I rubbed my eyes and slowly opened them to see a familiar gray ceiling. It couldn't be no. Am I back in my room? Huh. Sitting up, my heart caught in my chest. I was back in my room. I was in the human world. How was this possible? Where was James? I jumped out of my bed and rushed for the door, pulling it open. Okay, this don't make sense. You're gonna send me back, but you're not gonna take my memory. So, like, what's the whole fucking point then? James? Oh my god. I called out, but heard no response. I rushed to the lobby and looked around to see it still intact. The air felt familiar and real, and I wasn't imagining things I couldn't have been. At the same time, I knew that At the same time, I knew that the curse hadn't been lifted. I couldn't have returned to the human world unless I died. Yeah, so this is all fake. Was I dead? No, can't be. I began to panic. What was going on? Oh my god. What? My heart stopped at the sound of Diana's voice, more so from the moan that somehow reached my ears. I turned to where the sound came from, realizing the direction. Oh shit. No, don't tell me. The library? What? What? You don't tell me you're gonna get nasty up in the library. Okay, the library is a place of peace and quiet and knowledge, not fucking around. I rushed over and quickly pushed the door open, running inside. What I saw made my heart tear instantly in two. Uh-oh. On the ground were Diana and James, both in demon form, embracing each other. James had his face buried in Diana's neck as she clawed at his back, arching against him and moaning into the air. This is fake. No, you fucking with me right now. I don't believe this. This couldn't be real, this wasn't real. Before I could scream, time seemed to freeze, causing the room and the world around me to become still. I looked around, realizing that I could still move, and turned away from the sight.
Do you know why I am showing this to you, human?
Because you're a fucking dick, that's why. So you shut the fuck up and back up 2 feet. No, fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. If this was the angel's attempt to prove something, it was sick and twisted. There was no reason to show this to me, especially when the one I was marrying was engaging with the woman who had wanted to take him away. Yeah.
This was the time when Maestro was destined to return to the Abyssal Plains. Isaiah would have convinced him to go home, and they would have consummated their engagement before returning to take their birthrights.
Well, I don't give a fucking shit, because it didn't happen. So, like, what's the fucking point? No.
It is the truth. The only event that stopped it from happening was your voyeurism and intrusion.
Yeah, well, fight me. I don't give a shit. I will not let him go.
How selfish. Humans are all selfish creatures. But that is to be expected when safety is handed to them on a silver platter.
What? The angel was toying with me, and I despised hearing every word it spoke. I turned back around and focused my attention on James, knowing that this was fake and remembering the real scenario. Yeah, I bust up in here, I told Diana fuck off, and we lived happily ever after. Except now Diana's a homegirl, and she would never do this to me.
Do you understand the full consequences of your actions?
Yeah, well, but I don't give a shit, so it don't really matter. I regret nothing! Leroy Jenkins! Upon my final word, the room went black and began to reek of blood. I started to gag and covered my mouth and nose at the horrid smell. What was happening now? Where did the angels take me? Are you gonna show me the scene of which, Diana's family was brutally murdered or some shit? Or are you gonna show me a scene where the Demon Lord murdered 1,000 or so people? I don't even know. I don't care. Bring it on. I don't care. Oh, well then. I followed Diana's voice to see a crack of light slowly opening. I followed Diana's voice to see a crack of light slowly open, revealing Diana. Her face was painted with worry and concern, but upon opening the door, her expression shifted from concern to absolute broken shock. Is it that? Yeah. From the light of the door, I was able to finally see the room I was in. Blood covered every surface, gore decorated every inch, and I was standing a couple of feet from the center where 3 objects laid. Yeah, I figured. Barely coated in blood, at the center were 2 broken adult-sized crowns and a smaller crown, large enough to barely fit a newborn's head. Diana's eyes darted throughout the room, both in disbelief and in utmost horror. She barely forced herself to step into the room, dropping to her knees in front of the items and bringing them to her chest. No! No! Oh shit. My heart broke at the sight of Diana, tears streaming down her face as she clutched the crowns against her chest.
Your selfishness cost a kingdom their beloved rulers, and a daughter her only family.
Well, gee, stop blaming me, okay? God. I couldn't say anything. I wanted to fight and shout back that I still didn't regret taking James away, but seeing Diana completely broken silenced any will to speak. Oh, I read that sentence really wrong. Okay, but yeah, anyways.
I see that you're beginning to understand.
Just shut up. Stay silent. What's done is done. I'm sorry, but what's done is done. Like, honestly. Like, okay. Like, I feel really bad and shitty right now, but, like, honestly, there's just no way I can change anything up until this point. So, what's done is done. I remember Diana's voice echoing in my memory. She had moved on and was building the rebellion to eradicate the Demon Lord. As terrible as this was the inciting incident that gave Diana the motivation to destroy the Demon Lord. Exactly. I looked away from Diana, no longer wanting to see her grieve, and glared into the ceiling. The past cannot be changed.
The past is a reminder of our mistakes.
Well, we learned from our mistakes, alright? So, like, it's done. Like I said, what's done is done. What do you want me to do? Time travel? The past is a memory to look back upon, not to bury yourself within. Exactly. This is nice. Before my eyes, the room vanished once again, and I found myself surrounded by flames. Oh, what the?
Burn everything to the ground!
Okay, yeah. I looked around, trying to find the source and direction of the voice. This was just an illusion, but the heat of the flames seemed too real to ignore and shake off.
This was the last thing many lives were forced to see before dying at the hands of the madman Demon Lord.
Well, it's not my fault he's a total fucking asshole, alright? And he's a douchebag. That's what we were trying to fix right now, right? So why don't you just send me back? And then we can kill this fucking asshole, and then everyone can just live happily ever after, alright? Stop it. You stop that. I gripped my head, shutting my eyes tightly. I didn't want to see any more. I didn't want to be here any longer. If this was the angel's torture, this was truly unbearable.
Do you not see the price of your selfishness? You are the sole reason why millions of lives have been lost. You are the sole reason why an entire world is burning.
Well, not entirely, okay? That's where you're wrong, because the Demon Lord is already, like, crazy and, like, insane before any of this is starting to happen. It's just, he'd start to take it to a new level. Yeah, but you know what? It was only a matter of time. Like, honestly, let's just be real here.
Your love causes death. Your love will do nothing but bring you pain and suffering for all of eternity. Every minute you hold on to this false hope is another child dying, another kingdom falling, another battle waged.
That's what we're trying to do. That's what we're trying to fix it. God damn.
Give him up.
How about no? All at once, my head became filled with cries and screams of people I didn't know of. Pain from men, women, and children echoed in my mind as I gripped at my head, wanting it to stop. The heat around me was unbearable. I could barely stand it. I'm sorry, I love him. But I love him. Oh shit, no. I didn't mean that. I didn't even see that. It was too dark. Okay. But I love him. No, this wasn't happening. I needed to get out of here. Oh, I didn't want that either. I didn't want any of this. I shouted to the skies, knowing the angel would hear me. However, I rushed forward through the flames surrounding me, hoping to break free somehow. I want to break free! What I managed to do was break through some sort of glass wall, destroying the world around me. Oh gosh.
Love!
Oh, James! Oh my god, I found you! I found you! I fell to the floor, surrounded by shattered glass. Shaking my head, I quickly looked up, recognizing the sight before me from a nightmare. James was bolted. Oh! James, god damn it, fucking James. Why did you have to get yourself in this situation? James was bolted to a wall with a burned cross over his chest. He stared wide-eyed at me, uncaring of the bubbling heat dancing over the new scar as cloaked figures turned their heads towards me. Hey, bitches! I didn't have to look at them to know that they were angels. From what I knew, they had holy magic that could disable demon magic, so fighting with any form of magic I knew was not a good idea. Okay. However, I was a human. I had pure physical force. Yeah, yo, let's go Jackie Chan all up in them gently, motherfucker. I quickly jumped back up and squared off, ready to take on my husband's captors. Don't worry, bae. I got you. I'ma rescue you. Don't worry. You hang tight. In an act of supreme rage, James's body began to glow in an intense gold color, the light flickering around his body like a raging flame. Yeah.
Enough!
Yeah, get mad. Go Hulk. Yeah. Oh, wow. Within a matter of seconds, light suddenly engulfed the room, blinding everyone in it. I covered my eyes with my arms, trying to block the light to no avail. As it finally faded, I looked up to see James in his demon form with eyes fully glossed in gold.
This ends now!
You done fucked up, angels. You pissed him off. There we go. Now I can't stop him. Yeah, whatever. Oops. The cloaked figures quickly conjured chains in their hands, but not fast enough to avoid James forming a familiar-looking gold pistol in his hand and shooting down his attackers. What shocked me was how they fell. Ooh! Instead of them falling to the ground as the bullet ripped through the cloaks, the fabric burnt away and the ash vanished into the air as if blown away by wind. Wow, okay.
Filthy demon! Your acts shall not go unpunished!
Yeah, whatever.
Send every angel in heaven at me! I will not let you touch her again!
Yeah, what he said. You go, bae. Taking the chance, I rushed over to James and wrapped my arms around him. At last, my body felt at ease while holding him as he wrapped his free arm around my waist and held me close. I could feel power radiating off of his skin, tickling my nerves. Hey there! As a large gold pentagram appeared at our feet, a third cloaked being stepped up from the far end of the room, stepping over the glass that had broken through and fallen on. James tightened his grip around me and aimed at the figure.
You cannot escape your destiny.
Whatever, Lucifer. As it finished, James fired a shot at the angel. The bullet ripped into the cloak, but the figure did not die like his companions. James didn't seem to care.
That was your one warning.
Okay. Warning shot.
We do not fear you.
Are you sure? You should.
Come after her again, and I will teach you the meaning of fear.
Yeah! You go, James! You so sexy. With an angry snarl that reverberated through the room, the cloaked figure bent forward towards us, showing its veiny hands. Ugh. From its back sprouted two large and proud white wings riddled with hundreds of gorgeously placed feathers. So good, that's so beautiful, but like, you're still an asshole. However, before the angel could lunge for us, we sank into the ground, at last escaping into darkness. James gripped me tightly as I held onto him, guiding me through the void we were in. Ooh, wow, okay. Into the darkness we both sank. I shut my eyes, scared of where we were going, but knowing that everything was alright now that James was with me. I was safe in his arms. When we finally came out of the dark, we were standing in the middle of the war room where everyone seemed to have gathered. Hey!
Whoa!
Oh, hey, yeah, sorry.
Hey, what the hell?
I'm sorry, Tula sounds so offended. She's like, what the hell, you guys? Like, you can't just fucking pop up here. Nearly gave me a heart attack, and James, the hell is with this look?
Oh my god, you're alright.
Yeah, we're great. Peachy, but great, you know. James and I looked around, seeing the shocked and surprised faces of the rebel leaders, the Incubi brothers and their wives. However, looking to Diana, her face instantly melted from surprise to anger. Uh-oh. Mom, I'm sorry. I thought I had the situation under control, but you know, just things. I was stupid. I was dumb. I'm sorry. Ah, shit. James released me as Diana suddenly marched at him, staring at her with a blank expression. The expression stayed as Diana slammed her palm across his cheek, the sound reverberating through the room. Bitch slapped. Oh my gosh.
Hey!
Wow. Yeah, hey, let's just leave them to like work things out.
Do you both realize how long you have been missing?
No. Maybe. I don't know.
2 days.
Oh shit, really? No way. That just felt like 2 minutes. God damn.
Do you realize how many assets we have spent in preparing to find you both?
I'm sorry, Diana. Okay, this was unplanned, and you know, I had no control over it. You know, if you want to take it up with the angels, by all means, call them down, and you know, you smite them. Diana.
Do not apologize. I don't want to hear it.
Okay. Diana turned and walked back to her spot, crossing her arms and curling her shoulders over herself.
If you two had died, this war would have been for nothing.
But hey, we got this. Like, you should have more faith in us. Like, you know, we cool. I frowned, understanding what she meant. Because of us, the war happened, so we had to take responsibility. However, now was not the time to get angry. Diana, we're back now, that's all that matters, yeah. In one whole piece, as you can see. Once again, Sanus took control of their air before Diana took in a deep breath and let out a sigh, relaxing at last. The very last thing I wanted was for Diana to explode about this.
Were they angels?
Yes, they were. Yeah, they were. Yes.
Did you kill them to escape?
We might have killed maybe around 5, but you know.
2 of them.
Okay, 2. Not so bad. It's alright. Diana turned her head and looked at James in slight surprise.
You realize that killing angels of heaven will put a bounty on your head, correct?
James looks like he don't give a shit, so he's like, whatever. I silently gulped, remembering the angel swearing to punish James for what he did. James didn't seem to be fazed as he wrapped an arm around me.
Let them come. I will not let them hurt her again.
Man, James, you're just putting so much at risk for me. You care so much about me, and you love me so much. Oh my god. My cheeks warmed a bit as I looked up at James, seeing him smile lovingly at me. I smiled back, seeing the deep and pure emotions he felt for me within his eyes. He would protect me with all of his might, and I would be with him for as long as I could. I know, Diana, I'm sorry. Love makes you do stupid and crazy things. With a sigh, Diana rubbed her temple and turned around, glaring at me and James. Her look could kill, but I knew that beneath her anger she was relieved to see us. In a strange way, I could see the amusement behind her hard glare.
Well, now that everyone is accounted for, we are set. We are ready to march on to the Demon Lord's castle and end this once and for all. Are you two prepared?
Yeah, I mean, we fought angels, so what's the worst that could happen? The realization of the date hit me. If we had been missing for 2 days, then we were an evening away from heading out to the final battle. Fear quaked to my core for a moment, but my embrace with James shook it away. And plus, you know how to fly, girl, so you Gucci.
We leave in the morning?
Yep.
That's the plan. Get some rest, you two. You both need it.
Right, unless some sexy time's gonna entail again, so I wouldn't mind. Without letting anyone interfere or interrupt her, Diana turned and left the room. I smiled a bit, knowing that deep in her heart she cared about us. The other rebels left as well, most likely going to prepare themselves.
Dude, what's on your chest?
Oh, it's a new scar. Yeah, shit. Sam pointed at the cross on James's chest, making everyone look at it. I bit my lip, but James waved his hand dismissively.
A battle scar, nothing more.
A scar that still needs to be examined.
True. You need to put some antibiotic on that shit. Eric walked over along with Damien, and both demons began to investigate it.
Alright. Love, you can go back to the room if you want. I'll be there shortly.
Are you sure? I'm gonna get jumped by angels again, James. I don't think they're happy about you, killing 2 of them. I nodded, feeling sudden exhaustion hit me hard. I yawned and waved to the others before I walked out of the room, making my way toward our bed. Please let there be no angels or some next shit. I began to make my way back to my room, but stopped as I heard the sound of whispered voices sneak through. But it stopped as I heard the sound of whispered voices sneak out through a barely opened door. Are we gonna walk in on a coup d'etat?
So we're all in agreement?
We're gonna walk in on a coup d'etat, and you all know what's gonna happen. So I already did all the multiple choices that we can possibly get with it, and I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make the choice where we all believe in Diana, just to see the happy ending, I guess. Or I don't know. I think it really doesn't matter because we did the whole ending where Shadow became the dictatorship over the Abyssal Plains, and then we just kind of continued on, and Kay gave us our ending where we're in the human world and we were really happily married with Eric, and just going on about our lives and loving each other and shit. So I don't even know. I might just skip to that because yeah, I feel like it wouldn't matter all that much. I don't even know. But I feel so bad for killing her. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna skip for story purposes and not stopping for to go through the events again. I'm just gonna be hey, we're not gonna kill Diana. We're gonna trust in her, and then I'll go back and I'll redo some choices again along with this one. So yeah. Oh, but by the way, when we get caught, Eternimus is the one who found us instead of one of Shadow's underlings. So yeah, haha, hey Faye.
Huh? Ah, shit.
Ah, shit, indeed. I grimaced now out in the open. The force stared at me with cold eyes as if they were ready to send me back to the human world as a corpse rather than going through with the siege. Okay, there we go. Now we can just skip on ahead and I'll make the regular choices of just, in the end, Diana will rule the abyssal planes and everyone will fucking love her. Okay, well maybe, or not. We can just go through parts because instead of with Shadow, it's just, Faye kind of making all of her little commentaries and stuff. So, yeah, we can just get that. I looked at Faye, confused. They twiddled their thumbs as they looked at their fellow demons.
The Demon Lord is a bad guy, and we just don't want another demon like him. And Diana's a very, very powerful succubus, you know?
Yeah, I know that, but you need to trust in her. No one has any #trust here, God. What does that have to do with it, with anything? Yeah. Faye sighed and rustled their hair.
Well, she's mega powerful and stuff. If she goes mad and takes over the world, we'd be screwed, you know? She can enthrall armies and stuff with just a snap of her fingers. Who knows what kind of damage she could do if she went crazy?
Girl, it ain't gonna happen, okay? You need to trust, alright? No amount of convincing would change my mind. I'm not gonna kill her.
I really don't care what happens after. I just don't want my people killed because of her stupid leadership.
Well, it's not gonna happen, so you need to just chill, sit down, and just relax. I could tell that Faye was trying to be sensible about this issue, but in her eyes, I could see the fear in the situation. She was probably the only one who believed in her because that Diana was mad. What? She was probably the only one who believed in her cause that Diana was mad, or at least in danger of becoming so. Okay, yeah. Alright, let's skip on ahead. Let's for sure. There we go. So we passed all that. We said we believe in Diana and we left it at that. Just let them brew about it. So yeah, I finally returned to our room and flopped onto the bed, letting the events of my time in the abyssal planes replay in my mind. I was trapped here, hunted by angels, and soon enough I was about to go marching into battle against the Demon Lord for my freedom. The more I thought about it, the more surreal the feeling became. I was going to be in a room meeting a powerful adversary face to face and set myself free of the curse he brought down upon me. Add that I was captured by angels and almost killed by them made the time I had spent away from the human world very wild. I know. It felt like a dream, but I knew it couldn't have been one. This was too vivid, too real to be even close to a dream. As James entered the room at last, I smiled and stood, walking over and wrapping my arms around him as he returned my embrace.
God, I was so worried about you.
I know, I'm sorry. I kind of wonder what would happen if I actually left the room instead of investigating it, but I feel like we might have been captured either way in some shape or form. And I was worried about you, right? God. We held each other locked in silence and unable to say anything more. We had been in a heavy predicament and we escaped. Sure, we were probably branded now, but we escaped nonetheless. Yeah. All we could do in the moment was hold each other and listen to our synchronized heartbeats. As the thought of tomorrow danced in my head, I began to fear it even more. Was I ready to go into battle? Was James, were any of us for that matter? We were about to walk into the final battle of World War. Would we survive? Would I live to see James afterward and feel his embrace again? Tomorrow brought too many questions to think about and I became frustrated and scared. Which means, yeah, sexy time. Which means we're gonna do it. Don't even care. Make love. Yes. Held me. I needed to hold him and treat the night like it was the last night of the world. Tomorrow was unpredictable, but tonight was guaranteed. What sort of sexy kinkiness are we gonna get up to now? I slowly glided my hands to cup his head, looking up at him and staring deep in his eyes. I felt his hands gently slide across my waist, softly grasping my hips as he stared patiently at me. Okay. A rush of courage ran through my body as I gently pulled him forward and captured his lips with my own. My eyes fluttered closed as I took a deep breath, taking in his scent, his warmth, his love for me. I was blessed to have this man as my own, and to see him claw through destiny to remain with me and be mine. As he slid his hands up my back and hugged me closer to him, I could tell he felt the same. My head tilted back as James began to trail kisses down my chin and onto my neck, causing me to arch back a bit and press my chest against his. As his teeth lightly grazed my skin, a wild shiver ran up my spine. Yeah. His hands tightened around my waist and tugged me hard against his body as he ravaged my neck and shoulder in kisses and licks. My own hands began to wander his hair, combing through his black locks. For one more night, I would forget about everything except the feeling of this man and I making love. Because it's just great. A+, 10 out of 10. It wasn't long before James and I wound up in bed with me straddled over his lap with my back to his chest. What? Wait. Oh, okay. Alright, us in only bare minimums. James marked every inch of my body with his lips and tongue, desperate to make me quake in his arms from the pleasure. Alright. I couldn't help but let myself grind over the hardening length of his boxer briefs, my own core lighting in desire for him and slightly craving to just ravish and ride. However, James drifted along with my body, making me submissive to his touch and guidance. I was left to moan and mule in his fingers dragging themselves over me and eventually teasing me beneath my clothes. The wild moans that wanted to erupt from me and at his strokes filled my head with a lustful haze as James began to enthrall me and kiss hard over my shoulder. I began to bite my lip, trying to control them.
Don't hold it in.
Okay, whatever, if you say so. If you say so. As if to emphasize his command, he began to remove our last articles of clothing, turning me around in his arms and pinning me against the bedpost. Oh, this shit again. Alright, okay. I had to wrap my legs around him to keep myself up as he pressed his hips against the wood of the bed. As he pressed my hips against the wood of the bed. Okay. Getting confused with the anatomy going on here, so okay. I looked deep into James's eyes, becoming lost in them as I finally let go, feeling him take me at last and letting the pleasure ripple through my body in waves. My arms wrapped themselves around his neck as he pressed me against the wall and began to drive into me in a loving but hard fervor. My energy was slowly draining, but I didn't care. My mind was becoming a mess, but I didn't care. All I gave a damn about was, at that point in time, was James and I holding each other and riding through the immense pleasure between us. James knew everything about me, how to make me melt, how to make me keen. He loved to use everything in his power to make me feel absolutely loved and amazing, while I did my best to make him feel the same. Even as the end began to crash through us, our eyes spoke volumes of our deep and passionate love for each other. My heart pounded wildly for James, and I dared to claim him as mine. Hey girl, you just fought off a whole bunch of angels. If you don't dare to claim him as yours, I don't know what the fuck you doing. He was completely and utterly mine as I was completely and utterly his. Joyful tears gently dripped down my eyes from the feeling bursting in my heart, but I gripped James close, desperate not to let go. He did the same, pressing his lips to mine and capturing every loving sound I made for him. I lost count of how many times we let ourselves go. I became absorbed in his kisses, his touches on my body, our love, and that I was barely awake by the time it all ended, with his arms around me. Well, don't pass out now. His breathing became my guide and his body my solace. My hands gripped to him as my body naturally cuddled close to him, taking in his warmth. A small chuckle echoed from him as James petted my hair.
I love you so much.
I do too, bae. I love you too. I love you too, James. I will never let you go. We would survive. We would be okay. I felt safe in James's arms, and I'm sure he felt safe in mine. We would return to the human world and be okay. I better. Tomorrow would decide everything. Okay, alright, so let's skip on ahead to the dawn of the Demon Lord shit, and let's just see what the hell happened. Or what the fuck happened? God damn it, I skipped on ahead and I didn't realize the sentence before it was, but James is objecting to it very violently or viciously. What are we objecting to, James? What's happening?
When you get to the castle, I will be fighting one-on-one with the Demon Lord. If something should happen to me, then I need you to take over. She is not ready to fight him, and you need to be at full strength to finish him off.
Okay, so I'm guessing he's disagreeing with the fact that Dana was like, I'm gonna go fight the Demon Lord one-on-one, like, straight. Like, I'm gonna head straight there while you take the side route kind of thing. Alright, whatever. Babe, we gotta do it, okay? It's the only way. Yeah, she'll be okay. She's got my magic with her, exactly. Which means I'm Gucci, yeah. I'm not nervous, James, alright? I got this. As long as you don't try to sacrifice yourself and getting a sword stabbed through your chest where you could have fully, counter it, then yeah, we'd be fine. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't. James smiled and held my hand tightly before bringing it up and kissing over it.
No matter what happens, we will end this, and you will see the human world again. You have my word.
Okay, alright. Don't die on me. As long as you don't die on me, I won't die on you. Okay, so we good. Anyways, we are here, and I guess James is just kind of translating for us what the hell Diana was telling everybody else was. So she said that she stands with them and helped them get blah blah blah, babe, Really?
I don't think she means it literally, but she's riling up the soldiers for war, as she should.
Why does nobody believe in homegirl Diana? Like, she means business, alright? Okay, whatever. Alright, let's just skip on ahead. Alright, so we're off into the forest we go, in the pathway. So yeah, the journey was surprisingly, dare I say it, peaceful. The sound of the war exploded beside us outside the tree line, causing me to cover my ears a bit from the volume, but I shook my head and pressed forward, not wanting to become distracted. The goal was to get to the castle, and I had to focus, yes. I rushed forward, I felt my instincts go aflutter, causing me to stop and remembered that I could fly. My incubus skidded to a halt beside me, looking to me in out of breath of confusion.
Huh? What is it?
I'm gonna teach you how to fly, or you know what, hang on to me. Grab hold! I looked up at him, staring into his eyes and contemplating my plan. It took a lot of energy out of me, but it was faster than running, plus I would be holding him with me, adding onto the weight. Well, let's just do some weight then, yeah. I took a moment before mentally hitting the fuck it button. Yes! It's always a good idea to hit the fuck it button. I quickly grabbed my incubus's hand and pulled him close, tightly wrapping an arm around him and shooting a hand down to the ground. Fly! Fly, goddammit. As my voice rang through the air, my feet suddenly pushed up and off of the ground, pulling my incubus along with me and causing him to wrap his arms around me in an utter surprise and fear of falling. Isn't this fun? Yeah, our bodies shot into the air above the tree and let us see the battle raging beside us. I stared in shock as the battle escalated between the two sides, slicing and ripping at each other for territory and ground. Still, the thought of the castle ran through my mind, causing me to shake my head and fly us forward. The incubus in my arms held me tighter. It was a little cute to think about him holding me like this for once as I guided us through the air. I knew that there were imps still in the forest below, however, so I glared into the tree and pointed a hand out, forming a familiar green orb in my hand and chucking it into the woods. I repeated the action over and over as we continued forward. I could faintly hear the sounds of the imps below becoming caught in my thorns, some even crying out from actually being impacted by one of my oars and being cocooned by a thorny trap. Sweet! My incubus, despite probably being surprised at my carnage, ignored the sounds below us and held me close to him, knowing that if he let go, he would fall. I wasn't focused on him at the moment. All I cared about was getting us to the castle, yeah. By the time we reached the end of the forest, there were a slew of dead bodies behind us, all entangled in a forest full of thorn bushes. I landed at the tree line, panting and feeling waves of exhaustion running through my body. I panted for air, slowly focusing on calming down as my energy quickly depleted from continued usage to keep me in the air. That was all I could do before my energy was expended and a wave of exhaustion rolled through my body. Let's fall forward and hope he catches us.
Whoa! Are you okay?
I'm great. Huh? Yeah. I looked up to see James staring down at me with a deeply concerned gaze. We were safe for a moment, so I merely smiled up at him with a nod. I'm fine, I promise to protect you like you protect me. James let out a small laugh, kissing my forehead and hugging me to him.
That you did. I'm so proud to call you mine.
Ah, shucks. I hugged him back, feeling relieved that we finally arrived at the castle and were about to rush inside. As we slowly pulled away, James lifted me up and helped me to my feet.
Will you be alright?
Sure. I nodded, shaking off the exhaustion from my mind. I was ready to end this. I looked up the castle gates and felt a rush of determination run through me. Let's go finish this. Yes. With that, James and I rushed forward into the castle and the final battle had begun. Or was already taking place, more like it. Hey, what's going on? What's happening? The ringing sound of clashing swords greeted me and James as we sprinted into the castle and towards the main hall. James placed a hand in front of me as I spotted the battle waging at the front of the throne dais. Yes. Diana and the Demon Lord slammed their swords against each other over and over in violent repetition, with Diana level to her tall opponent in fight. Just from the force behind their wings, you would think that their swords would break and bend. The sound of the steel, however, could not cover the snarls that erupted from each of them as they pressed against the clash between them.
It's over, you brute bastard!
Yes.
We'll see about that!
Go, Diana! You got this! Hopefully. Oh. With a heavy grunt, the Demon Lord pushed his sword forward with a pulse of red energy, causing Diana to fly back and slam into the pillar with a painful thud.
Ah!
Oh, shit. Okay, time to tag team this. Diana crumpled to the ground, her wings instinctively folding in against her back from the impact. However, it only took a second for her to recover and look up with a rejuvenated glare. Vaulting off the ground, Vaulting off of the ground, Diana flew at the Demon Lord once more and slammed her sword into his, a large burst of purple flames erupting from between their weapons.
I will send you to hell where you belong!
Yeah! James and I watched in silence as Diana and the Demon Lord danced their deadly duel, not wanting to get in the way of either of their rage. After all, James was merely a backup and Diana seemed to be fine so far. Yes, but we might need to step in soon. For some reason, however, as I stared at Diana, something about her hits looked almost effortless, like something was guiding her sword to land each strike. Was she that skilled in combat? Yeah, duh. After a flurry of deadlocks, Diana finally managed to swing her sword at an angle, slicing the back of the Demon Lord's hand and making him drop his weapon. Nice!
You!
Yeah! The Demon Lord quickly stepped back and reared his other hand back, forming a large red orb in his hand. However, as soon as he thrust it forward, it began to dissolve and dissipate in the air, vanishing completely before it reached Diana's body. What the fuck is that? What happened?
What?
What happened to your Kamehameha? Oh, Diana stared in shock at the occurrence, taking in that his attack didn't hit her, before she slowly grew a smirk on her face and a golden glow over her blood-red irises. What? What happened? What happened?
Looks like you're all out of energy.
Oh, snap! You fucked! With another angry growl, the Demon Lord repeated his action, only to stare in disbelief as it evaporated into the air. It was large enough when in his hand, yet it vanished all too quickly. Something was wrong, no shit. But I don't really give a shit because this is advantageous. Diana didn't seem to care as she lifted her hand back behind her and formed a large purple orb in her palm before shooting it forward. The orb slammed into the Demon Lord's chest and pushed him back against the pillar harshly, forming large cracks in the stone at the impact. Nice.
It's over!
Yeah, get him! With her battle cry, Diana gripped onto her saber with both hands and flew forward, charging to skewer the Demon Lord through the chest. As she began to fly forward, I gasped at the sight of white feathers slowly painting over Diana's demonic wings. What? Angels were here. Uh-oh. Player 3 has entered the battle. Oh my god, wait! Diana wasn't listening. Her eyes became completely glossed over in a gold color as a strange white glow began to emanate from her form like a holy light and guided her forward towards her intended victim. What? Within a mere blink, Diana had run her saber through the Demon Lord's chest, piercing through his heart and impaling him against the pillar. Don't tell me you gotta fight like a possessed Diana who had angels controlling her. Oh shit. Okay. James and I could do nothing but stare in shock at what Diana had done and what was happening to the succubus in question. Her body let off almost an ethereal white glow as she snarled into the Demon Lord's face.
May Satan take you and tear you apart in the pits of hell.
Wow. Jesus, girl, okay. My body shuddered in fear at the sound of her voice while she naturally had some sort of demonic while she naturally had some sort of demonic resonance as she spoke, something else was laced into her voice, giving it an almost a celestial lift and tone. Yeah, well, she just full out condemned this guy to hell and was like, yeah. The Demon Lord's gaze glazed over and soon lost their light as he ever so slowly went limp over the blade embedded within him, blood slowly dripping from his mouth and onto Diana's forearms. Diana, however, released the handle of her blade and glided back, shaking her arms to rid them of the Demon Lord's blood. Despite what I normally expected from Diana, the succubus didn't seem to care that her mortal enemy had fallen at last. Uh-oh. Does that mean she's still possessed and we gotta fight her? Oh shit. She didn't even seem to care that her wings had become angelic and covered in beautiful white feathers. If it wasn't for her tainted demon skin and horns, I would imagine Diana at that moment to be confused as the angels I had imagined from the human world. The reality of the situation, however, was apparent. Something was wrong with Diana. Homegirl?
It is done. It is over.
Yeah, but you feeling okay? You okay? You doing alright? Hey! I looked to James, seeing his cautious but deadly glare burn itself into Diana's form as she looked up at him, eyes still glazed over in a gold glow.
It isn't truly over, is it?
Yeah, right? Possessed Diana, who's actually an angel right now? Diana stared at the pair of us for a moment before lowering herself onto her feet on the floor and letting her new angelic wings fold against her back patiently. With an almost sickeningly sweet smile, Diana lifted her hand towards James and beckoned to him.
You are correct. You must take your throne, Reistrau.
Oh. God damn it. My anger fled at the sound of his true name escaping her lips, but my soul began to quiver in fear. Dana was being controlled by angels, and now she seemed to be an instrument for James's destiny. Yes. James, however, remained at my side, glaring hard at Dana, still with a hand across my body in protection.
You do not have permission to use my name with such familiarity.
Yep.
And why do you say that? I am the queen of the demon world now, and you are my betrothed.
Nuh-uh. That was in the past. This is the present, okay? You gotta get your facts straight. Diana ran her hands through her hair and over her horns, dragging them down her neck and over each curve of her upper body seductively. This is definitely not Diana. Duh!
My mind, body, and soul are completely yours, as is the domination of this world. I share these pleasures and power with you, with the purest love from the bottom of my heart, as your true, universally intended bride.
I love how you emphasize the word universally intended. Like, girl, you don't need to rub it in my face that, you know, he was promised to you first, but then shit happens and things change and you moved on from it. And I was so happy for you and you be happy for me. Like, why can't we just... Ugh. James reached his hand back and took my hand, knowing that her words were digging into my mind with edges of betrayal and annoyance. I knew James wouldn't accept her, but I also knew that this was not Dana, so we knew what the angel controlling her would do next. Yeah. Dana tilted her head to the side, slowly lowering herself onto her knees and stretching her arms by her side, bearing herself to us.
Unless you desire me to be your slave, I will happily give you the throne and eternally serve you until the end of time.
Man, you done disrespect Diana. I am just so upset with you, whoever the fuck angel you are. I don't even know Gabriel, Lucifer, I don't even fucking care. But like, you disrespecting my homegirl right now. Like, you're making her like sink to such low levels.
Enough! Release her and reveal yourself, Seraph!
Yeah! I gripped James's hand, staring wide-eyed at Dana as she simply... Oh my god, that scared the shit out of me. It was a fruit fly. As she simply chuckled and guided her hands together, pressing her palms between her breasts and leaning back to stare at the high marble ceiling. Oh, now she's gonna offer us a prayer. Suddenly we're in church and she's gonna offer us a prayer. God, I ain't here for that, girl.
This child of Lilith is offering herself to you, demon. Yet you refuse to take it.
Yeah, I'm not. She ain't interested, okay?
You know my answer.
Yeah, fuck off.
It is a foolish answer. This demoness can become a vessel of power for you, the mother of your lineage. What more can you desire that the human can hope to provide?
You know what? You have a good point there, but you know what? I'm just as good. Even though I may not be, you know, a direct descendant from Lilith, the first succubus demon. But you know what? Whatevs. Stop it. This time I had to interject. This was wrong and underhanded. Whatever spell Diana was under gripped her tightly enough to become some sort of twisted submissive to James, and no part of me appreciated it. Right? We gotta get her out of this situation. This angel was some sort of sick and twisted being that needed to be stopped somehow. Okay, James. What you got? James finally stepped forward, forming a sword in his hand and staring down at it in serious thought.
An angel like you can never understand the desires I hold.
I hope you're not gonna plan on stabbing her, because let's just think about it first.
That is because your desires are misplaced. You know deep in your heart that you desire to rule over this world. Your demonic blood craves the power.
No, James, you're better than that. You don't need all this. I watched James gaze deep into the steel of his blade, locking eyes with himself. Still, he continued to speak.
It is true that some part of me wishes to rule this world. Some darker, unfeeling shadow of the past that was raised to live and become the ultimate lord of this plane.
But you've moved on from that. You've become a better James, and I know you did. As James gripped the handle of his sword tightly, he shifted his gaze to Diana's body.
But my heart knows where it belongs. With the human who loves me as I love her!
My babe knows how to just say the right words. My heart fluttered in my chest at James's words, feeling every ounce of passion and determination embedded with each sound. Diana, however, let out a dark laugh.
Love, how fleeting. Your defiance comes from such a weak emotion.
Man, that just means you don't have no honey to love you the way he loves me, okay? You just need a little love in yourself. As Diana finally straightened back up, I stepped back from the sight of her eyes. Instead of black pupils, her golden eyes held two dark crosses burning within her lost irises. The smirk on her face intensified almost like a Cheshire cat's sickening grin. Ugh.
Allow me to show you a power greater than love!
No, I don't want the Lord's love right now. No. Not if it's like this. With a hard flap of her wings, Diana jutted forward, forming another saber in her hand and arching it across James. Her target countered in reply, clashing his sword to hers with a heavy clang. I didn't want for this to happen. I instantly jumped back away from the fight as James and Diana began to clash swords again and again. James's face showed his pure concentration as Diana's cackled in both an insane glee and obsessive desire.
Fight however you like! You cannot escape your destiny!
He can try.
I will, and you will not stop me!
Yes. The speed of their clashes increased, the rapid sounds of steel beating steel crashed through the air like a wave of violent drums. They were equally matched and neither seemed to be close to giving in. How long would this fight go for? God, I hope not long. I knew Diana was probably exhausted from the fight, but the angel was working through her, so there was a chance that her exhaustion wouldn't matter. Then again, James had not lifted a finger yet in this war, so he had energy to spare. The entire situation became full of confusion and concern as James and Diana continued to duel without hesitation or need for air. As James took a heavy swing towards Diana, the succubus leapt back and sank gracefully on her feet, using her wings to ease her descent and stance while she licked her lips.
Love is a fleeting game. Those who expect it to bring happiness will only experience sorrow in the end.
Okay, alright. You're wrong. You're wrong. I was tired of this angel trying to get in between me and James. Enough was enough. Yeah, come on, do something about it, Hana. I stepped forward, trying desperately to find more energy within me to fight alongside James, but spoke out regardless. You don't know anything about love. What do you know about love?
I know more than you ever will, human. I have lived for eons serving heaven, and have watched your kind rant and rave all about love and its existence.
Then that just means you haven't experienced it. Why are you so mad for? Diana lifted her hand to her chest, grasping at it over where her heart was, and almost laughed at me and my words.
You humans use love for the most meaningless of things. I love him, I love her, I love this, I love that. You claim love to be a powerful emotion, yet you can't even give it the power it supposedly deserves, as you use it for everything!
God, you're so salty, you're so mad. What are you so mad for?
I've watched that word fall on deaf ears. I've seen lives destroyed, despite love guiding them forward. The mere word has become a throwaway amalgam of letters, used to express minor joy for things that will decay and die in the end.
Oh, alright. Okay. I'm getting really bored of this lecture right now. Are you gonna stand here and just lecture me about love and how fucking meaningless it is, or you're gonna fucking fight me? Love is stronger than you think, it doesn't matter what you think. Love is stronger than you think. I'm gonna be a Disney princess about this. I knew deep down that the emotion of love was stronger than this angel could have ever imagined. This wasn't something they could debate against. This wasn't something it could debate against when I had experienced it firsthand with the man it was trying to take away. Diana laughed and shook her head, guffawing at my exclamation before stretching her arms out to the side.
Love is weak! I have claimed the body of a succubus who is full of true love, and not even her love can stop me!
Well, you did a low blow, right? She wasn't expecting it, so it was a cheap shot. I stared wide-eyed at Diana. She was in love, even more so she had a pure and true love, but if love was the factor behind control, then something was off. I shook my head and glared once more at Diana, burying my gaze into her eyes at the angel who was controlling her movements. Come on, Diana, you can break through this! You controlling her has nothing to do with love. You're taking advantage of her being weak from the fight with the demon lord. Exactly. Finally, Diana's face melted into a glare as she bared her teeth at me and growled. Hey, don't you snarl at me.
You know nothing! Less than nothing! Filthy, unclean human! You open your mouth and spout nonsense and forget your place in the universe!
Okay, God, jeez, don't yell. I can hear you just fine. Diana's saber began to glow an unfriendly white color as Diana's hand began to quake holding it. Was Diana fighting back, or was the angel's anger shaking her limbs with rage? I wasn't able to tell. I hope she's fighting back. Come on, homegirl, you can do it!
I will erase you!
Aw, bitch, nah. A hard flap of Diana's wings made Diana fly forward towards me, sword held high to rip me in two. However, her blade was met with James's as he rushed up and guarded me.
You!
What? Yes, him. James pressed back against Diana's saber, his body glowing a dark gold color in response to her ever-growing aura.
Your battle is with me, Angel. I will not let you touch her.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a fair fight anyways. With a heavy snarl, Diana pressed herself against the deadlock, leaning towards James and practically frothing at the mouth. Because if you had to fight me 1v1, you would have just been on the floor already. So, he's doing you a favor.
I will make you yield!
Okay, girl, you need to just chill. God. Unaffected by her scream, James summoned a burst of yellow energy forward, knocking Diana back towards the throne dais. Diana flipped back and floated in the air, gracefully shaking her head before sneering at James. The demons sprang at each other once more, slamming their swords together in hopes to push the other away or strike their opponent down. Purple and gold clashed through the room, the speed of their duo growing exponentially with each hit and parry. Watching Diana, however, I could tell that the exhaustion was hitting her hard physically. Her hits became wild and thrown by adrenaline instead of with purpose and intent to kill. The angels wouldn't be able to hold on for long. James was putting up a good fight despite this, easily blocking and dodging her attacks before pummeling a barrage of his own, laced with gold energy that burst between their swords at each hit. Just hang in there and then maybe they'll tire themselves out. As soon as an opening became available once again, James gripped onto Diana's wrist and twisted it back, making her release her saber with a painful scream and causing him to drop his own sword. Diana, you need to get a hold of yourself, girl.
Enough of this!
Right? Just using the momentum of his attack, James spun Diana around so her arm was almost dislocated behind her and slammed his feet into the back of her knees, causing her to buckle forward and land with two painful thuds. James, however, pushed Diana farther down and slammed her body onto the ground, trapping her arms against her back with a foot and gripping onto Diana's large wings with both hands. I gasped. He wasn't going to rip them off of her, right? Well, I see no other choice. Oh god. With a concentrated glare on the back of Diana's head, his fist tightened around Diana's feathery wings and suddenly sent a wave of golden flames around them. The fire stopped at Diana's back, only consuming the wings in a gold and red flame. Oh well, it wasn't hers anyway, so it's alright. Diana's screams echoed through the room, bouncing off the floor and walls in a frenzy as she could do nothing but feel the flames engulf her wings. The feathers that painted over them began to burn and dissolve into ash, falling around her. Soon enough, the pain became unbearable enough to force Diana to make her wings vanish back into her skin, where two large burn marks signed themselves.
I'm sorry.
Not giving Diana a single ounce of mercy, James dug his foot beneath her body and flipped her over, causing her back to arch in pain from the impact of her burns on the marble. Smoke sneaked out from her back as she gasped loudly. That'd be sizzling, Jesus. As Diana opened her mouth and let out her breath, James quickly grasped onto her neck, squeezing tightly and causing the succubus beneath him to choke. Hey, what? James, what are you doing? Hey, we don't have, hello, let's stop this, hi. Neither demon would hear me as Diana grabbed onto James's wrist and began to claw at them desperately to make him let go of her. Her eyes began to flicker from gold to their original clear white and red colors as Diana could do nothing but spasm from lack of air. Don't stop him! Oh god, James. James, you don't have to do this, James. Stop him. I needed to stop him before he killed her. The angel wasn't worth her death. I rushed forward and grabbed onto James's arm, making him look up at me as I knelt down beside him. James, stop it, you'll kill Diana. James stared at me, taking in what I had said with the same surprised look before looking down at the succubus beneath him and glaring hard. Was he going to kill her anyway?
Come out and fight me.
Yeah, exactly. Fight me 1v1. With a burst of energy surging through James's hand, Diana arched back, a spray of frothy saliva and blood erupting from her mouth towards the far wall. James's grip had loosened around her neck, but Diana's body continued to spasm from James's attack. Diana's eyes rolled into the back of her head, finally fading from gold to white as she gasped for air and her body relaxed at last. Okay. As Diana's body finally went limp and settled onto the marble, a large white aura of smoke wisped out of her chest and shot itself at the throne dais, settling on the steps and slowly growing taller in place. The white smoke finally formed into a familiar cloaked figure who was arched forward with his veiny hands tensed out beside him. Something about the angel, however, seemed different than before, as if he had somehow gained energy from being within Diana. She probably took whatever remaining energy she had in her.
You filthy cur! You
continue to try and defy your destiny when it is useless!
Oh, shut up. James stood and glared hard at the angel, forming his sword once again in his hand and pointing it towards his new opponent. His body began to glow and the room began to brighten in his golden aura. I have
no such destiny to remain in this world. My life is bound to the one I love, not to an empty chair gained through blood.
Yeah, exactly.
You will have no choice in the matter!
You shut the fuck up. You aren't his dad. His dad is dead over there. Like 2 bullets, James and the angel rushed at each other. What the fuck? Oh, that was my phone. Sorry. Too many distractions. Like 2 bullets, James and the angels rushed at each other and collided with James' sword against the angel's bare hands. I expected James' blade to tear through the angel's flesh, but the steel pressed against the angel's hands like it was grazing stone. Ooh. The angel gripped at James' blade and slowly began to crush it beneath his hands, causing the magic surrounding it to falter and fade. James and I stared wide-eyed as the angel was able to rip the broken piece of sword off and toss it aside like it was plastic. Damn! Okay, I'm a little scared. A little nervous. Determined still, James shot his energy through his sword and reformed the blade, going once again for another attack, only to be blocked by the angel's forearms. Upon impact, the steel of the blade shattered like glass, falling to the ground. Okay, now we're in a little bit of a trouble.
I am no mere servant of heaven, demon. I am the keeper of destiny, the scribe of fates. You cannot defeat me no matter what spells you conjure.
Huh. So, how are we gonna beat him now? Upon his final words, the angel pressed his hands forward and slammed them against James's chest, forcing him to fly back and slam into the far wall. Oh shit. Oh god, okay. James! Oh god, okay, this is bad. Okay, I'm a little at a loss of what to do too. I instantly began to rush towards him, but found myself being lifted off the ground by the back of my neck and pulled away from James towards the angel, yeah. Oh god, oh shit, oh god.
No!
Son of a bitch. I grabbed at the back of my neck, feeling the angel's hand gripped it tightly and keep my body afloat. Somehow, his hand felt indeed like stone and concrete, grazing against my skin roughly and almost tearing at the flesh as I struggled. Let me go! This is unfair! I can't know! Why is this happening?
I should have forced you to choose from the beginning, demon. This human will not see a reason to let you go. But I know that you will see a reason in the offer I will graciously give you.
Ah, hell no. He's about to use us as fucking bait. No, don't do it. Don't do it, James. Don't. What a dick. No, I ain't about to become a fucking bait. No. Okay, guys. So, I think I'm gonna leave this episode here. Oh my god, it's almost near the end of the final battle. Anyways, I hadn't expected it to go on for so long. We had we are round 3 on this battle. We fought Demon Lord, or Diana fought the Demon Lord. And then we fought Diana, who's possessed by the angel. And now we go, phase 4, which is fighting the actual angel himself. And now he's pulling this dick move. So yeah, we will find out in the next episode what will happen, whether or not James will have to make the decision, or we can just find a way to get ourselves out of this situation. So yeah, I will see you guys in the next episode for that final frontier battle and concluding, and also going back with the other choices most likely. So yeah, see you then. Bye!